1984. 9-year-old Christine Jessop disappeared after getting off her school bus in Queensville, 40 miles from Toronto. Welcome back, everybody. To all you new people that haven't subscribed, down below, subscribe. Hit the bell. You'll be notified when I make another video. Okay. We're doing one on a 9-year-old Christine Jessop. It's a cold case. Let's get into it. Let's go. Christine Jessop's mother, Janet, had taken Christine's older brother to visit her father in a detention facility, and they were not home when Christine returned from school. The little girl had plans to meet a friend after school at a nearby park, and she was seen going to a local store close to her home to buy bubblegum. Christine never made it to the park to meet her friend, and this would be the last time anyone saw her. The police were called immediately, and York Regional Police began to canvass the area and spoke to the residents of the small town. Volunteers searched the area for Christine, but she was not found until New Year's Eve, 3 months later, 30 miles away in a wooded area of Sunderland. The 9-year-old had been raped and stabbed to death. Because of the location of her body, Durham Regional Police took over the investigation, which was now a murder case. In February, the police began to interview suspects, and they had their eyes set firmly on 25-year-old Guy Paul Morin, who had been labeled a weird type guy by Christine's mother. He was arrested on the 22nd of April after several interviews. Morin went to trial in January 1986 in London, Ontario. His cellmates were put on the stand and told the jury that he admitted to the murder. One of these inmates was allegedly an undercover policeman who said that Morin claimed he had Red Drum the Innocent. There were hair and fibers found on Christine, which the prosecution cited as belonging to Morin. So the defense brought in experts to dispute the evidence. There is also the issue with a timeline and window of opportunity to take Christine, as Morin had not been in the area. Morin was acquitted by the jury. However, his acquittal was appealed by the Crown due to errors in the instructions the judge had given to the jury. On the 28th of May 1990, Morin went back to court for his second jury trial. The second trial was much like the first. The same evidence was supplied. The same witnesses stood on the stand. This time, the jury changed their direction. On the 30th of July, 1992, Guy Paul Morin was found guilty of first-degree murder of the sweet, innocent Christine Jessop and was sentenced to life in prison. However, On the 23rd of January 1995, Morin was eliminated as suspect when DNA evidence was tested against him. He was freed after 3 years in prison, and several more awaiting trial. In 1997, he was awarded a substantial amount of money in compensation for the 10 years of his life stolen from him. His imprisonment remains one of the worst wrongful convictions in judicial history. In October 2020, the Toronto police used the DNA evidence taken from Christine's underwear and submitted it to a DNA and genealogy search by the Texas laboratory, Othram, and they found 2 family trees. They were able to narrow down the genealogy, through investigative work. Detectives cross-matched the list of people who had a connection with the Jessop family and finally tested a DNA sample kept on file. The suspect was Calvin Hoover, and the Jessops knew him. You know when they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer? This next part's a good reason why. Janet Jessop confirmed that she was friends with Calvin's now ex-wife, Heather. The families were neighborly, and Heather worked with Christine's father in the past. Calvin Hoover helped with the searches for Christine when she was reported missing, and even attended the funeral and the wake after her body was discovered. Unfortunately, Calvin Hoover committed suicide in 2015. However, the DNA sample taken from his autopsy was kept on file, and that's how investigators found the exact match to the semen left on the child's underwear. Although the identification of the murderer in the 36-year-old case is new, Detective Steve Smith and his team are currently creating a timeline of Hoover's moments on the day Christine went missing. He also believes there may be other unsolved cases involving Calvin Hoover. Detective Steve Smith went on to say, we're learning a lot more about the people he spent time with, where he spent his time, and we're looking at any unsolved cases that may be out there that Calvin could have been involved in. Hoover's ex-wife, Heather, issued a statement citing the family's devastation at the news. They're as shocked as the rest of the world is. Our hearts go out to the Jessop family. They ask for privacy at this time, while we all come to terms with the horrendous news that was as shocking to us as it was to the Jessop family. As for Guy Paul Morin, he was told of the breaking the case by the police, coming to his home to tell him in person and apologize. He issued a statement soon after the news. I am relieved that Christine's mother, Janet, and her friends, and hope this will give them a sense of peace of mind. They have been through a dreadful ordeal for 36 years since the loss of Christine in 1984. I'm grateful that the Toronto police stayed on the case and have now finally solved it. For little Christine Jessop, instead of flowers for Christine's funeral, Bob and Janet Jessop asked for donations to be made to Child Find, an organization at the beginning of its journey that helps find missing children across the country. This is a story of two tragedies. A little girl who was abducted, sexually assaulted, killed, and her body dumped like garbage. Then there are the 10 years that Guy Paul Moran lost by overeager authoritarians hoping to catch a break in a case that had garnered a lot of the public attention. Thankfully, there is now resolution to both parties, and Christine Jessop's friends and family have some closure to her death, despite the lack of justice against the pedophile and murderer, Kevin Hoover. Guys, okay, not feeling the best. I got a bad belly. Couldn't eat my dinner. Anyways, I said at the end of the video here that murder was Kevin Hoover. It's not. It's Calvin. Calvin Hoover. All right. Just get that straight. Anyways, if you like what you've seen in this video, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified when I make more. And I'm going to move on to the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm out of here. Take care.